You are getting me as my friend.
Right, hi guys. I hope everyone is good. Huge welcome to You Are Your Brand. I am super excited about this because I feel like I have been, yes, I'm doing that now, okay, by the way. I feel like I have been itching to do this for some time, but I was really conscious that I wanted to learn as much as I could learn, cram my brain with as much information as possible. And I'm still learning. Okay. Everything that I am going to teach you is stuff that I've learned really from a program that I've paid for. And I told her, I said, Jackie, I'm teaching my team tonight about branding. And she was like, my God, Lisa, that's huge. That's like such a massive compliment to what I've learned from her. But what I feel like I've learned is stuff that I'm going to change it slightly because it is really applicable, but it's not because of the type of network marketing company that we've got. And I will explain all as we go. And I really, really hope that by the end of the couple of weeks, you're going to feel more confident about social media. You're going to feel more confident about who you need to show up as on social media, which is going to connect. And I did talk to my team very briefly about this today. The most important thing about this branding course is about you understanding that you are your brand. Okay, we all sell, every single person on this training right now, all 40 of us sell the same product. We've all got the same website, we've got the same bars, we've got the same pricing, everything's the same. Okay. The only difference in that is two things. One, your network. I don't know your network. You don't know my network. And two is who they're buying from because they will have a relationship with you for whatever reason. And you might think, oh, well, I'm the most boring person in the world. You're going to open your eyes tonight to make you realize that you're not. Because when I started doing this, I thought I was boring. I still think I'm boring. I still don't think I've got much to give. And I find that, and
Hmm.
some huge things to give and huge stories to tell. Laura,
I was just Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, as you were speaking there, I was like, and don't think that. Like, talk like not the cost that Lisa is talking about. Like, I have signed up to that about a week ago, and I was driving today listening to some of the stuff. I was like, this is gold. But even prior to that, like, you know, we have learned so much over the last like 7, 8 years, just in general about branding. So even that aside, that's exactly what I was going to say. You need to remember that you are unique. There is only one of you in this world, and the probably one of the biggest hurdles, which obviously I know we're going to talk about, is getting out of your head and thinking, I can't do this because I'm not like XYZ person. XYZ person is not going to relate to me like they're going to relate to you. And it is so important that you dial down on that first of all and understand that it doesn't matter who you are or what your background is or what your story is. Like somebody out there is going to relate to you. So it's about being you, the person that you are.
100%. And that's the most important thing. But we'll cover all of that. The aim of this, my aim, okay, the biggest aim is by the end of this, you are more confident at posting what on whichever platform you feel most confident with. There are going to be lots of you that it's going to be like, I just want to literally get to grips with Facebook. And I'm going to talk a lot about Instagram and TikTok a little bit, and Facebook, but I'm going to talk about probably all different platforms.
Right. Oh, Leona.
You're just going to have to take from that what you will. Um, but what I do want to say is if you make sales on Facebook, for example, now have a go at adding a second platform into what we're going to talk about because you might be surprised that you meet a whole new audience on a whole new different platform. Or you start making a different type of content on the platform that you're already confident with. So it'll all make sense. But by the end of this, hopefully you're going to be more confident about being a brand. Now, what do I mean by being a brand? As a Scentsy consultant, so if and I don't want anyone to think that like we're privy to some inside knowledge that because this is not happening, okay? But
No.
this scenario, if Scentsy closed its doors tomorrow, I want you to think, would people come to my social media, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, wherever, to buy any other products, or would they just suddenly be like, okay, I don't need to look at her Facebook anymore. She's just a friend now. And that's what you need to be thinking about. Like if, say, the doors closed tomorrow and you needed to still make an extra £50, £100, £150, and you turned your hand to something different, would people buy that from you because they've got a relationship with you? They're coming to your social media platforms for something other than Scentsy. Because I think there's probably quite a lot of you that would say, do you know what, Scentsy closed tomorrow? All that I post on my Instagram, my Facebook is Scentsy. I wouldn't have anything else to post. And that's really, really important for you to think about because realistically, this was the biggest thing that I learned. And this was probably the hardest thing because watching Jackie Richards go through what she went through a network marketing company that she was with that closed their team element and they still exist, but she can now only sell the product. So she needed to make a big chunk of her income in a different way. But she had built a following, a brand, because she taught about social media. That was her brand. Her brand wasn't the makeup that she sold. So what I'm trying to say is your brand doesn't want to be Scentsy. You actually come into your platforms just for Scentsy. Because I can tell you now, 9 times out of 10, we're all sharing very similar images, unless your face is in every single picture and your family are in every single picture. I just need to go and shut my dog up. Pass it over to you for a second.
No, you're fine. Because what people will buy from people. You will have heard this said this before. People buy from or will join people that they know, like, and trust. So people will tag me in like sunsets or sunrises because that is something that I share about. I share about sporadically about, the fact that my child has is autistic, or I will share about going to the gym, or I will, like, you share about things that like make you the person, because like Lisa said at the beginning, every single person every single Scentsy consultant that joins has access to the same products. What people are going to relate to is you, the human being. And what you need to think about is when they come to your social media, do they know you? Do they know you, the person? Now, that doesn't mean, and it's funny, I had this conversation with Amy yesterday when we were in the soft play. Over the last 11 years, I've been in network marketing for 11 years. Obviously, another company prior to Scentsy. I've probably overshared in the past, if I'm honest, and I do look at things now, and I can't ever say I regret anything, but there are things now that I wouldn't share personally, just from some crazy weird experiences over the last few years. But to be a really good network marketer, you can share your loves, your passions, and still have a really private life. So what we're saying is we're not expecting you to, completely open up yourself to the world. There's a way to do it in the right way, which is what we're going to teach you, without, and you can still have a really private life. So that's another thing. I don't want people saying, well, I'm not sharing my life on social media because I don't want to. There's a way to do it. You need to remember you can absolutely show it for your business and share who you are and still keep certain things, keep a lot of it private as well. I just got a little statistic here today. I did get it to put, I asked ChatGPT. You want to grow, right? You're here because you want to grow, and there's a huge wide world out there, right? Okay. As of 2025, approximately 5.64 billion people are active internet users worldwide, representing about 68% of the global population. This marks a significant increase from the previous years, with an addition of 114 million users. Now, I know we can only sell and sponsor in the countries that we're in. However, when you think about it in terms of like, I want to grow, don't you want a little piece of that pie? I do. Like, I certainly know that I do. So this is a perfect way to get out there, because there are billions of people in the world that haven't bought Scentsy, that don't know about Scentsy, and it's our job to go and find them. And this little thing here in your hand is the perfect way to do it.
The magic of this, guys, I know so many of you are struggling right now to party. I know we've bought you WhatsApp parties and borrow bag parties, and we've tried to get really creative, right? But
Yeah, we have.
are you so creative? Because some of you will tell me, Lisa, I have asked every single one of my customers to do a WhatsApp party, to do a home party, and they still won't do it. So if that is the case, this is the next avenue. Branding yourself, finding a way to brand yourself, to use social media is the next step for you. Because naturally, you are going to be able to meet all those 5 billion people that Laura just said about. You are going to be able to meet those people. Sorry, Ellie's putting my ring light in. My technical man is here.
IT department's here.
You are going to be able to meet lots of new people online and, socialize with people online. I know people that have got online businesses that have got huge followings, and they will tell you those people that are now following them have become friends. Some of them have become like their family almost. Some of them are some of their best friends that they've ever met. And I also know people that haven't got huge followings, but they've got a small, loyal group of customers that keep buying and keep coming back and keep coming to them because they love their content, because of who they are, because the numbers really don't matter. And that
Mm,
we want to stress to you, because
yeah.
so we talked about this week. Like, we would rather you have, there are some of you that might be like, well, do you know what, Lisa? I sell 200 all my stuff PRV on Instagram every single month. And if you said that to me, I'd say, well, you sell more than I sell on Instagram.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's going to be because the people that follow you are coming to follow you for a reason. Okay. So this is where this whole like branding is going to come from. So if you haven't downloaded the workbook, don't worry, we're going to work through it. We are going to work through it, and I'm going to talk you through the workbook in terms of finding sorry, my desktop's a little bit wild at the moment. These are the notes on my phone. It's all a little bit wild. Right, okay, so if you haven't seen it, this is the workbook that I made. It didn't take me very long to do, actually. I was quite impressed with myself, how quick I made this.
I was very impressed with you.
There was a template on Canva, and then you just play about with it, okay? So, and I love it because I've had a few of you message me going, oh, Lisa, I love a workbook. And I'm like, you are my people, because
Yes.
like down to a T, I love their stationery. Okay, so we've already talked about this, but we sell a lifestyle-based product, and this is something that I want to stress. When you go and look at different network marketing companies, for example, I went and looked at Arbonne, I went and looked at Herbalife, I went and looked at Beyond Beauty, I looked at Pharmacy People. A lot of other network marketing companies have a transformation to sell people. The transformation is, sorry guys, my hair before I bought the products. Here's my hair after. Here's my weight before I bought these products. Here's my weight after. Here's how I felt before I took greens. Here's how I felt after I took greens. I know that sounds really silly, but a lot of other network marketing companies have an actual physical, tangible difference that they can show in their product. For us, we are selling a feeling and a memory and a lifestyle connection. We are selling emotions and we are selling stories. They're really important keywords. Okay, guys. We are selling that connection, because I guarantee if I took 5 of you off mute right now, you could tell me your favorite scent. And I know just from talking to, when I was talking to my new teamie, Louise, and I think she's on here, and we were chatting on the phone, and I said to her, what's your favorite scent? And she started telling me, and I could almost imagine her face lit up with passion and excitement as she told me what her favorite scents were. And I was like, oh my God, like, you've almost just sold me the scents while we're talking over the phone. Like, I was like, you're literally making me that, and that is what we do. That is our job role. So we are very different to what you see other people out there doing. So we are almost like, yes, we're defining who our audience are, mainly women. Sorry to the guys. I know we've got guys on the team, but it is mainly women that we are, putting ourselves out there into the world, because it is mainly women that want their homes to smell good. I do believe there is an age demographic. However, I don't I feel like we shouldn't shut ourselves off to an age demographic, because I feel like our age demographic of people buying is so wide.
Yeah.
And we do need to know who we're marketing our products to. And that's something that's really, really important. So our attracting, connecting, and our serving. You're going to work out who you're serving, but by doing that, you need to work out who you are first. And this has been probably my hardest part of the journey, was working out who I am, what makes me me. And that sounds really crazy, because I'm really confident about myself. I'd say I'm probably in the most confident place right now of knowing who I am, yet putting pen to paper, I found it really difficult. This is something I found really, really difficult to do. So what I want you to do, you can either do this while we're on here, you can pop these things in the chat if you want, and then you can do this in your own time, is I want you to think about who you are. What makes you a consultant or an influencer? I'm going to call you influencers, because one day we might all be called Scentsy influencers or home fragrance influencers. I feel like there's a shift going towards where we are. And I want you to think about what makes you you? And I'm going to ask you some questions that hopefully are going to help you do this. And you can put them in the comments. We're going to call these pillars, okay? I made Laura do this a little while ago. She came round to my house and I got all excited and I
I
had
popped in for a cup of tea and she was like, right, sit down. We're having a little lesson. I was like, okay.
hold on, I've got them here somewhere, mine. Hold on, let me find them.
But what I will say about that is when we come back to saying like why will the people follow you for what you do? At the weekend, I put up a poll on my social media. This is something that I've just done over the years, like without even realizing it. But I actually put a poll up and I said like I'm doing some market research. I'd be really interested to know like what you would like me to like what you would like me to share more of. And I said like why do you follow me? Like why are you here? And I gave the options of fitness, mindset and personal development, or Sensi, or all of the above. And one person, like 1%, said Sensi. The rest of it was mindset and personal development. Now, that is because that is something that I am passionate about, that I share about, that I love, that comes natural. And that is why most people follow me. So, therefore, my content going forward, I'm going to be sharing that. I do sell Sensi in my Instagram stories. I do sell in polls in my stories. People do message me on Instagram about Sensi, but that's not why they're following me. So, obviously, one of my pillars that Lisa's going to talk about now, obviously, was going to be mindset, personal development, personal growth. So you need to think about the things that make you you and what you are passionate about sharing.
I did this with Laura. I literally was like, this is the teacher in me, okay? I am
Like, sit down, here's a pen.
out when we do stuff like this. And I started to write down on, and you could do this easily if you don't want to do it in the book. I know some of you don't want to write in the book. So grab plain paper, and I want you to just write down all the things that make you you. So I can start to list off things like I love Diet Coke, like I am a Diet Coke addict, like hands up, like you. I am a dog mum. I do cross like eating healthy food. Love educating people about nutrition. That's something that is like a real passion of mine, but I haven't quite worked out how to entwine that into Sensi. So, but it'll make sense in a minute. I have started running recently. I do like creating cute outfits out of things that are in my wardrobe that are realistic, that are not like let's go shopping and spend £500 on outfits every week. Because let's be honest, how many of us are sick of seeing those people that have all the outfits from all the places and making us spend all the money? So I like doing that, even though it makes me feel a little bit cringe. I also have a dog. I have three boys. I am married. So as you can see, I'm just going through those things. I want you to just list 5 or 6 things in the chat about yourself. First of all, it's a really good opportunity for us all to get to know each other. Second of all, you can write them in the book as and when you want to. And write as many as you like, as many as you like. And if there's anybody that's like, I don't have anything about me, tell me, put your hand up, wave at me, or put it in the chat, and I'm gonna ask you a few questions that will help you to find out who you are. Because you could ask yourself things like, okay, what do I do of the weekend? Where do I take my children to? Is it that actually I'm a children's taxi driver and I'm taking my kids to clubs every day of the week? Is it that you're a nurse or that you're working for the NHS and you've got a huge passion in care? Or, there's so
Is
many.
it that like you're a gardener, you grow plants, you read certain books, you love Formula One? That was something that came up the other day that when I was talking to somebody that I wasn't expecting, like, and because my husband loves Formula One, like there are so many things. And I think what happens in the world of social media, you think you need to, how can I put this? You think, oh, well, I need to do that because that's what that person's doing. You don't. You need to share the things that, that mean something to you.
Love this. I love reading about you all, by the way, as well. Being on
Yeah.
bargains, you do love a dupe, Sarah Eldridge. I see that on your social media though, and I bet you get interaction from people who share.
Charlene, look, Charlene is my people. This was another thing. So Charlene said she loves dancing in her kitchen. I was a dancer. Like I was a dancer. That was my job for years. And when I first started doing my dancing reels, I was like, oh, I feel a bit. But then I was like, no, this is natural to me. Like I danced from like before I could walk. My mum always used to say. So you need to find the things. I love this.
Yeah, I love it. I love walking sunsets riding. SEND mum. Yeah, love that. Love that. All right, I'm loving it. Right, keep them coming. I want you to keep writing about yourselves. And I know this is really hard to do because sometimes
Martina Cole. There we go. There will be a network out there that love Martina Cole books. My friend Ria is one of them.
I would just want you to write. Just keep writing because and there are gonna. I know this is hard, right? I know this is hard because you're having to really dig deep to think about. Okay, to think about you. And 9 times out of 10, most of you on here, you probably spend your whole lives running around after children or husbands or doing your day job, and actually you don't get a lot of time for these things that are the things that make you you, right? But every single person in here has got a number of things that are, the things about you. These things make you interesting, whether you believe it or not. Hate a baked bean.
I was just gonna say
I don't think you should use that on your Instagram stories, though. On your
tuna. Lisa loves tuna.
gross. So honestly, keep them coming. Okay, I really hope this is opening your eyes. Now, there are going to be some of those things that you've just listed, which probably you could create content about easily. For example, okay, I'm just going to pick somebody's because I've just seen one that
Katie Vale loves Crocs.
I'm not talking about. Who just put I'm a straight survivor? Debbie. There's Debbie. Right, Debbie just popped in there. Stroke survivor, warrior queen. I absolutely love that, by the way. Makes me feel a bit emotional seeing that. But that, for example, Debbie could give such a personalized experience of that. It would probably be very easy to create 6 posts that may be relatable to a group of people, maybe women, that are also stroke survivors. And you might be thinking, okay, where are you going with this, Lise? But what happens is when you are in that situation where you meet other people that have that same connection as you build a connection. You build emotion, you build a connection, you build attraction. If you was to create content around that, let's say, for example, you created a reel around that, and maybe it was even a series, four different parts where you created 4 videos where you talked about what happened and through the process and through the healing process of that, right? I know this is a little bit deep, but you are going to connect with, not me, I don't mean that horribly. I haven't been through that. So for me, I might say, oh, actually, my dad went through that. I could connect with that. But say, for example, somebody else had been through that and they see that on social media and it's out there in the public domain, you might attract those type of people that have been through the same thing that you've been through. So it's exactly the same. Somebody just put Westlife fan. Sarah, that was you. It may well be that that's one of your content pillars. You're a huge Westlife fan, but you're gonna, by making content about that, you're gonna attract other Westlife fans. Now, when you then create these Me Too moments, these connections, right? What then happens is you will share things about Westlife in your story that's going to get in your stories that gets interaction. And then every now and again, you might sprinkle a little bit of Scentsy. Today, I'm listening to Westlife and I'm changing my wax to kiwi fruit. And one of your new Westlife friends, says, oh my gosh, I love that song, but what's kiwi fruit, Scentsy wax? Straight away, we've got a connection point and we are now selling wax in our stories. Can you see how important it is to share, posts, reels, carousel posts, whatever you want to call it, about you and about aspects that make you you? One, because it's really easy to post about. I bet a real Westlife fan, I can't even tell you what all their names were. I'm sure you could probably tell me what all their names were and what their number one hits were and what their songs were. And you might be able to create content about that. Who knows? Who knows? You may be able to do that. I mean, when I come to the next bit, you might decide that Westlife isn't going to be your thing, but because I am going to try and get you to pick 5 or 6 pillars, and Westlife might not be it, but you might have so much content in your locker about Westlife. For me, I wouldn't even know where to start. But that's the beauty of it. Can you now see that if somebody landed on Sarah's Instagram page, and every 5 reels, there's a reel about Westlife and about her obsession with Westlife. I imagine Westlife followers and lovers are going to start to follow her because of loving their music, because of loving Kian from Westlife, because of, can you see, you can see where I'm going with this. I really hope that this is connecting and landing in terms of it's building you as a brand. Westlife become part of you as a brand. Okay. And you're not going to get this right straight away. This is going to be something that might take some tweaking. It might take some playing about with, and you might meet people that are Westlife fans that you didn't even know, or that are stroke survivors that you didn't even know about, or Diet Coke lovers that you connect. I feel like sometimes when I share these things, sometimes I think no one really is going to care that I've shared that. And then all of a sudden, you connect with someone on that level, and you're like, oh, had no idea. I connect with a lot of people in my messenger. Like that's where I feel like, even though I'm sharing it on Instagram, because my Instagram and Facebook are linked,
Yeah, yeah.
most of my sales come in Messenger, believe it or not. And
I get I get a lot more comments. I've never thought about that. I get a lot more comments on my stories in Messenger than I do in Instagram because it links through.
we built our following on Facebook, and a lot of
Yeah.
our are on Facebook. However, we're not discounting that younger age group by linking by doing it on Instagram and making sure it shows up on our Facebook stories as well.
And
So
also, guys, don't think about some of the stuff that's out there in the world. If any of you follow like Colleen Nichols, she used to be No Shame Sales Game. She's now I don't actually know what her page is called now, but when she has shared content before about saying like when you are scared to show up on the internet, there is somebody that built a whole brand about like pencil sharpeners, or there is somebody that is selling. I don't even know this was it. This is a bit gross, but I don't know, toenails in a box. I don't know. But like what I mean is when you are worried about sharing the right thing on social media, there is literally a social media page for everything. If I told you some of the weird stuff that comes up in my For You page, I do not know why. I've told Lisa some of them. But like jewelry made of semen, there you go. Not that one. That hasn't come up in my For You page. But there is literally weird stuff everywhere. Today, Lisa sent me a water bottle for having away when you're in the car because I have got the bladder of I don't know what. But there is a page out there about that. So do not overthink because I honestly feel, and I'm sure you probably agree, Lisa, the biggest stumbling block people have is they overthink it too much and think, and I know that I used to do it. And I'm not claiming my social media is perfect. I do what I shouldn't say this. I'm not saying I feel like a fraud training, but what I mean is once I've tried to get out of my head and think, oh well, I can't, I shouldn't. Don't wait for perfect. Once you start sharing things and you understand, and then you start to realize what connects, then you share more of it.
talk about that towards the end. So in here as well, like some of you have put like, oh, I don't have no kids. That is a huge niche in its own to be somebody
Yeah.
proud of that. I don't have kids, I've got fur babies. Like that is, I feel like I see someone's content the other day that popped up and it said, let's talk about the fact that I haven't got kids and everyone thinks it's out of order or everyone thinks it's really weird or online or something along those lines.
Excuse me.
Actually, hook, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It made me like stop and read. So jewelry made of semen, yeah, that came up on mine as well. I think that went viral. That's possibly why. So I hope by doing this, you started to think, oh, actually, I have got a lot about me. I'm not just someone nothing interesting. Okay. Now this is the hard bit. I want you to pick 5 of them, maybe 6 if you wanted to. And this is where you're going to have to think about, okay, who am I? What, and I'll be honest, pick things that you think I could show up as that person every day. So if I said to you, okay, you're going to try and make some form of content about one of those 5 things and almost have them on rotation every other day, 2 or 3 times a week, you're going to go to that 5. And so say, for example, you chose gym, weight loss surgery, your home, cleaning, and Scentsy. Because Scentsy does have to be in there. It should really be one of them. Okay, 1 out of the 6.
I just want to reference. So Annie Jo's written, having no kids is what makes me not fit in. We don't want to be fitting in this world. You do not want to be fitting in when you were born to stand out. That is we're not here to fit in. We're here to stand out as our unique selves. So don't see that as a bad thing.
Joe, search fur baby mum or search no woman with no children or no children. I've got no children. Search that in TikTok or search it in Instagram and see the content that comes up. Honestly, you've almost got a niche market because there's probably people that, you know, like for example, I'm sure people have said to you at some point, well, do you not want children or something like that? There are things people probably have said that you could go, actually, you know, I could list a whole thing. I do have a fabulous dog. There you go. There's probably lots of things, but
Absolutely.
social media is going to be your absolute go-to. You are going to find your people on social media because I know when we talk about selling Scentsy quite a lot, we're like, oh, you know, dance mums and go to here and what about these and what about these? And I know sometimes that doesn't always feel like it might resonate with you, but actually you've got a very special niche. You will resonate with a very special group of people. Honestly, just trust me on that. I will find some content and I will show you what I mean. So you're going to pick 5 or 6, okay? Pick 5 or 6 that you think I could talk about this. Okay, I could talk about going to the gym. I could talk about my favorite pair of jeans. I could talk about the fact that I'm trainer obsessed. I could talk about the fact that I don't have children. I could talk about the fact that I've got like 5,000 children and they drive me bonkers. I could talk about whatever it might be. Pick yours. Yours are going to be different to every person's pretty much on here. There will hardly be anybody that are similar. And that's what I love about branding because those 5 or 6 things are going to become your brand. Okay. I did a training on this years ago in the Inspiration Station, and actually the principles haven't changed. The only thing that's changed is the type of content that we're making. Back
I was
then,
I was just thinking at the beginning when you were talking about that. This is something we've actually trained about like since the beginning. It's just that social media's evolved and the platforms have evolved and TikTok's come along and Reels have come along. Like the actual message behind it and the concept behind it is no different to when we first started. It's just evolved over the years.
we posted still pictures, and we would always say to you, put your face in your picture, let people
Yeah.
get to know the person. It's exactly the same concept. Okay, nothing's changed. Um, Once you've got your 5, what I want you to do is a bit like this. So when I had, let's just take this one for example, my one that I feel most cringy about when I do my mum outfits. Okay, I wrote here what I wore for World Tour, like events. Boy mum football uniform, being a 40+ mum. Realistic mum outfits of over 40. What I wore to the gym today, haven't done that. Cheap versus expensive, did do that. That went down really well, actually. And then what I wore when I worked from home today. They're just ideas of things that I could post about, whether that's a still post, whether it's a video of a reel, whether it's a carousel, whatever you want. You now want to take each of your pillars, you can call them your themes, your buckets, whatever you want to call them, and you're going to write down some ideas of things that you could do around that. Because once you've got these lists, it becomes really easy when you sit down and go, okay, I'm going to make a post today. I'm going to put something on my Instagram. Oh, I don't know what to post. How many of you do? How many of you freeze at the, I don't know what to post. I want to post something. And then actually, probably what most of you do is grab a stock photo. By stock photo, I mean off of our workstation, which are fantastic, but they've got a time and a place. Or maybe like a real life image, or you grab a Canva image or a flyer and you wipe that on your Instagram.
Are you copy somebody else's because we do see it. Don't do that. We're not like pointing at anybody, but don't copy and paste because then people's both of your posts don't get seen. Basically, what I'm saying. Sorry, I'm letting my dog out.
It's nothing at all because you go panic and you're like, I don't know what to post, so I'm just going to post nothing. Okay, we've all been there. I've been there. So this is going to help you. I'm going to give you a little top tip. If you put these, if you've got a notes app on your phone, you could almost have a notes section for each one of your things. Okay. And now these might not necessarily work in your customer group. However, you could definitely integrate these into your customer groups with Scentsy. I would say in your customer groups, that is more like hardcore sell your Scentsy in there. Get your face in there, go live in there, share your special offers in there, do all of those things in your customer groups. This type of branding is more for your public platforms. So your personal profile, your Instagram, TikTok, if you're brave enough to use it and you don't lose loads of time. And I'm going to give you a few tips on things that I've started doing with my Instagram and my TikTok and a couple of apps that are very good to use. But because ideally you can go onto Instagram, I go on there, create a reel, I download it, I upload it to TikTok, and then I share it to Facebook. So actually, I post it to 3 platforms, sometimes to my business page as well, if it's relatable, because they're all public. Can I just clarify? Our own personal niches are like a reel to draw people to you. Exactly that. You got it. That's exactly right, Claire. So exactly that. I find I post more on stories these days when I'm out and about. I find it much easier to slot sentences stories, 100%. On days I'm home and not doing anything exciting, I freeze up and end up not posting at all. This is where you almost need to sort of, on those days, a little bit of planning, I suppose. Like sometimes I think to myself, right, I'm going to make 2 or 3 reels today. I quite often video throughout my day. I just video now. It's just become like a bit of a habit that phone's in my hand, go out for a run, I video different parts of it. If I go to B&M or Home Bargains, I will video some of it. If I'm putting on a cute outfit, I video myself in the mirror. And then you can just reuse that piece of content 1,000,001 times. That's the key.
The other day, I said to Lisa on voice note, "Oh, have fun shopping with your mum." And she's like, "I'm not going shopping with my mum." That was yesterday because she posted the reel where she'd recorded her outfit going out like a couple of days before.
What I've started doing is, so I've got all the videos. Then I make my reels. We're talking about reels. I make them at 8 o'clock at night when he's watching Manchester United play football. If any of you are Man U fans, then you will be feeling my pain right now. He's watching Manchester United play, or we'll be watching something on TV. And while we're watching, I sit and make my 2 reels, and then I save them in my drafts, and I leave them there until a day where I'm really busy, and I haven't got time to make a reel today, so I just upload it. And it might be like, come to the garden centre with me and my mum, or come shopping with me. Here's my outfit that I wore to go shopping. Or it might be just some B-roll with some text over the top. It really is. B-roll, by the way, is just video footage. Okay, that's just rolling video footage. Um, so get your ideas. Okay, get your ideas down. Now, these are some things that you can start to think about, but I actually don't want you to do this bit at the minute because I want you I'm really conscious, let me stop the share for a minute, that I don't want to overload you with so much information, then you go, I'm not going to do anything at all. Because I know that feeling well. Laura will tell you, I've spent probably the best part of 18 months working on Reels and Instagram. And there are some days where I'm like, I'm definitely over that phase now. But I was in this phase where there was so much overload happening. And then what I did was I just didn't do anything. And I just stopped. And I was getting so stressed out about not knowing who my audience was and all of this. And realistically, all I needed to do was just post. Literally, just post.
Annie, it's in your email. I've emailed it out to you are Annie Joe that's on the Emma, aren't you? It's in your email, and Lisa shared it in whichever groups you're in. It's in the groups, it's in the image sharing groups, and it's in your email.
Scroll up a little bit. It is in here somewhere. It may. Oh, look at that. It's still in my copy and paste.
There you go.
So you've got it there. So I think, like, as I say, I don't want to go into like so much detail that you then go, I can't do this. I can't do this. Ideally, we're talking about reels, okay? At the moment, we are realistically the content that you want to be putting out at the moment with your five pillars or 6 pillars is a little bit like reels, and that's where we're aiming for. And I know some of you will say to me, Lisa, I don't know how to make a reel. I have done a training on my YouTube, which is like a very bog standard basic, like how to make a reel. But worst case scenario, for now, you're just going to start videoing some content. You need to be in your content.
Yeah.
Like, try to be. You don't have to be in every single one, because I know that like sometimes you're like, I just haven't got time. I need to do something quick. I need to do something easy. I need to just put something on here, and it might be that just, panning around my kitchen before and after, clean up with me or whatnot. But
You can, and this is something that you are gonna feel because I have been doing this a long time, and even but on Saturday, I was it Saturday? I can't remember. Whatever day I went out with Harry to IKEA, and I was like, oh, I've not really recorded anything today, so I was like, actually, I'll record about being with my son. So while we were in IKEA and we were getting the things off the shelf, I just put my phone on the side. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. I just recorded getting the thing off with Harry. Then I recorded when we walked back to the car. Then I recorded putting my boot down, and then I literally made a reel, and it got like loads of interaction and then I put a thing over it that I was, a hook and a caption that I was spending time with my son, which is rare because he's 14. So you record what you're already doing in your day.
so I would say if like the thought of like doing the videos are literally like giving you the heebie-jeebies right now, I would say you just want to get used to using your pillars that you have now worked out what they are and just start posting. Whether that's just on your personal profile or whether that's on your Instagram. For now, it's just about let's start posting out content. I guarantee that when you start posting your I don't know, your I don't know, well, let me just grab some examples. When you start creating a post about perimenopause, because I see that pop up on a few, and I definitely can like 100% resonate with that right now. So say that's one of your things, and you're like, I feel like I talk about perimenopause and hormones all the time at the moment.
All the time.
1 out of 5 of your posts can be about perimenopause, okay? And it may well be you don't want to do a video for now. Okay, that's fine. Let's just get a post out there and start seeing the response that it gets from customers, friends, family. Now, what I don't want you to care about is or think about is you're not making content right now for the people that already follow you.
That
Okay. On your public profile is for the new people that you're trying to attract to you. It makes me still feel like I'm going to die inside a little bit that my friends, probably some of my best friends, they've never said anything, but they possibly look in and think, what does she think she's an influencer, like doing that? Look, but I had to get out of my head with that and be like, do you know what? If I want this to work, I've got to get out of this. I've got to literally just post.
And this is why I just want to reference what Annie's put in. Annie's put, and I'm not highlighting this. She's put, I'm too old and too ugly. What you need to think about, Annie, is one, you are not. You need to be kinder to yourself. But two, what you have shown up tonight to this training. What is your goal? Like, what do you want to achieve with Instagram, with Facebook? Because if you do want to grow and you do want to do this, which is why you're here, which is what, that would indicate that you do, that is something that you do need to work on. Like Lisa said, we're not suggesting that, you need to go start making, all the B-roll content straight away. But if you want to reach new people, they are going to have to get to know you, the person. So that is something that, like Lee said, it doesn't, even for us now, like it doesn't always feel natural. It doesn't, that little voice that's at the back of your head, you can have done all the work on yourself in the world, but there's still that little thing at the back of your head going, oh my God. But it's about the new people that you're going to meet. And unless they get to know you, the person, they're never going to come to you. So it's a skill that you do need to work on.
Let me just ask a question, and I know that this doesn't apply to everybody because it's going to be dependent on what your job is or anything like that. So if you can open up your social media so that they are a public platform. If you can't because of your job, I would look at whether you can have, like on Facebook, for example, on my Facebook profile, all of my Scentsy posts are public. You can literally choose whether your post, so anything that, all of mine's public. However, when I was teaching, my Scentsy stuff remained public. My children and all of that stuff remained private. You can check posts. Instagram probably a little bit more complicated, but what I would do is Instagram, you can have a personal, a private, not a private, a personal profile that's public. It may well be that some of your content, if that doesn't allow it in your job, might be like faceless, and that's up to you.
Yeah.
Do it faceless. Look There are people that have got faceless digital marketing companies that are absolutely booming, but people can still learn about you. So it might well be that you open an Instagram that you call is like your faceless Facebook page. Your customers will know that's you. Maybe your friends and family will know it's you, but people that are in your workspace will have no idea. There are ways to sort of do it, but you're just going to have to, you just got to be a little bit, you make it work for how it works for you. And I think that's really, really important. You just make it work for how it works for you. My school asked for my Instagram profile, but mine is public. Yeah, it just depends on your, yeah.
And I guess it depends what your goals are and like what you want. Like, do you want to grow a following to 100,000 followers? Or, like we said at the beginning, do you want to grow a network, whether that's 500 followers, 1,000 followers, that are going to buy from you? It's not always about, it's whatever your goals are for you and your business and whatever works for you personally. We're not here to say like, yes, you have to do it like this. We can just give you suggestions as to what's worked for us or what we've learned along the way. And then you have to mold that to whatever works for you.
I will just add as well, guys, like I know it's really tempting to just post Scentsy all on one Instagram and then lifestyle stuff on another one that's just for like a smaller group of people. But like Laura said, that if you're posting to a closed group, like my customer group is a closed customer group.
Yeah.
So that unless they add people into that, no one outside of that group is ever see it. That's like you could be doing the most amazing reels that would go viral, but people aren't going to ever see it because Instagram can only push something out with once it knows like where to push it basically. And if it's a private page, they're not going to push it any further than just your audience that are in there. So like that's just something to think about. And the algorithm is a really funny thing. I don't know how to explain it to people. There is no, I feel like you can follow all these people that tell you things change all the time and all the rest of it. They do. But I can tell you now that I mean I follow, and you guys can what sort of content that you stop and scroll at, right? How many of you will be scrolling and you like stop, and before you know it, you've lost, 30 seconds of your life watching somebody clean their bathroom. Okay, it happens, right? So what I'm trying to say is you may think, well, I don't think my content is very interesting. Like sometimes I put my come spend the day with me content on and I think, God, that's gonna bore
You
the
know how many comments people tagging me or people messaging me because I made an egg mayonnaise wrap yesterday for lunch and shared it. Not even lying. Like two of my friends messaged me and were like, "You've inspired me." Today I shared honestly, I'm not joking, but I follow and watch what people are eating because I'm interested in what they're eating. We all eat every day. Like it
it's just
and again, I'm not claiming that was perfect, but like Lisa's saying, don't overthink what you need to share. People, I probably not articulating it properly, but yeah, basically, I got a lot of interaction and messages about an egg mayonnaise wrap. What?
guy the other day. I think he was in like his whole Instagram was saying one line. I swear it's something to do with OnlyFans. He was wearing like a black sack, and I think his one line was something like, "I I like drinking tea." Or
Yeah, there's a lady. Do you remember I sent it to you, Tan and Claire? And she's in a black latex dress. She's drinking coffee. She's got big boobies. I think, like you're right, it might be a little link through to OnlyFans, but she was going like, I like my coffee hot and black. That's all she said. Her whole Instagram was, I like my coffee hot and black. Um, I'm gonna just come back to a couple of things in the comments because, like we said, it is all about like the bigger picture. And we always talk about like working on your mindset, but this isn't a mindset training. However, some of your stumbling blocks, guys, with some of the comments that you are putting up, is you need to work on that first. Like you can't, I don't know. I guess when a child rides a bike, they need to learn to balance first before they can put those feet on the pedals. So I guess that's like your wobbly bit. If your wobbly bit of your bike, I don't know why bike came to my head, but is saying, oh, well, I can't do this because of this. I can't do this because of this. I can't do this because of my age. Or I can't do this. You can. You need to peel it back. And there are Loads, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on social media that are over 50. Like, age is irrelevant. Like, you need to work on that first. And again, do what works for you, but understand that that is all just part of the process. It's not just, we're not claiming that this is just going to happen overnight and you're going to work up and it's going to be a perfect method. But we are here here to try and help you to do that is what we're saying.
Nothing we do is like we've not got viral reels that get thousands of views. We're just giving you information that you've learned. Some of you guys will build a faster, quicker following than Laura and I because
100%.
something that's really interesting. Like you've got a story that will resonate. But what I want you to do, just start to do, is your throw spaghetti at the wall phase, okay? And this is where it's just about posting and watching to see what the interaction is over the next few days. You might post a couple of reels if you're going to do reels or posts, and suddenly you're like, oh my God, Diet Coke and fitness, they just literally blew up. Like it was like no one knew that I liked Diet Coke in my friendships. And all of a sudden, all my friends are commenting, going, oh, me too, me too, me too. Or my perimenopause content literally just blew through the roof. Like I was really shocked when I started posting about being 40 and like starting to struggle with like hormone changes. And I've had so many of my friends who I went to college with reach out to me like, oh, Elise, I love that you're sharing that sort of content. There's not enough of it on the internet. Like I'm seeing stuff, but it's just mind-boggling, mind-blowing because there's so much content out there. Like you're making me feel seen. And I was like, that's what we want to do because like and straight away, they're not people, two of those people have asked to meet up with me. One of them has bought Scentsy off me since. And that has literally been through a post about perimenopause. I didn't then go in and go, do you want to buy Scentsy? It was just a conversation. It led one thing to another. And then she was like, oh, I need to order some wax, by the way. So
When you had your bathroom renovation as well, like you shared about that, that was
to be fair, when I did the extension on the back of my house, that I kick myself now. I should have blogged that more because that probably would have blown up. But you learn these things. Like you think about things that you could have like posted about. But I feel like some like Laura said, we get in our head about it, think that nobody would be interested in seeing my bathroom or what's going on in my house, my crazy kids running around. But actually people do like and I tell you what, if you post reels on TikTok, they blow up so much faster. Like so much faster. TikTok is literally like the place to go.
the perfect example. So Annie's just said about when I said about my rap. Joe Wicks. How did Joe Wicks like he started sharing cooking, didn't he? Chucking his stuff in a pan. Look at Mrs. Hind. She is the perfect example of this. She started sharing that she was cleaning because it was something that she was passionate about. And that grew and grew and grew. And then people got to know her, the person. They fell in love with her kids. They now know that one of her children is autistic and that she is now autistic. They know that she's got chickens and alpacas and like Stacey Solomon's another one. Like you don't Stacey Solomon was on the X Factor. That's how she got famous. But people now know her because of the stuff that she shares in her home. And like you get, so when you're overthinking it, think about some of the people that you follow, like Liz just said. And Stacey worked in my chip shop. I love that. And why do you follow them? Like, why do you relate to them? Like, why? Because I'll be honest, and this is me being totally like vulnerable here and like honest, when we some of you will know my basically we've moved a few times and I'd got the big fancy house and all that and like when we came back to Essex and we moved into this house which is older and there is going to be some work done on the kitchen which I will be getting I'll be videoing. I was thinking in my head I was going, well, I can't share in that house because it doesn't look like the big fancy new build house that I was in for however like how long. And that was me getting in my head. And I actually said to Lisa, I was like, I can't, there was a lot going on and I was like, I can't record content in the house. Of course I can. That was me. That was all in my head. And when I got over that, nothing's any different. People don't care. People want to know you, the person, like not an aesthetic that you think social media has to look like. Like, and like they said, it's like saying, oh, I can't share clothes because I don't go shopping and spend hundreds of pounds. Yes, you can. You can, the clothes that you got in the supermarket that I was like, oh my God, I love that t-shirt that you had on, like that you bought in Sainsbury's when you did your shopping. Like, exactly. Like people. relate to human beings. Be a human being on the internet, and other human beings will come and find you.
There's a couple of things that I'll give you that these will just make things easier for you. If you're use it, if you're there's Instagram's got all the like reel making tools. Do them in Instagram, guys. It's so much easier than anything else. Or there's an app called CapCut, which you can use. I've just downloaded the paid version, which has got loads of like, if you go look at my reel from today, it's got sparkly effects on it. I managed to get two of me on a screen. It was very, I played about with that today, but it took me bloody ages. Okay. I would just stick with just the basic Instagram reels for now to get you started. So that CapCut's a great one. If you want to download your reel, there's a good app called InstDown. I'm going to put it in the chat because I will not put InstDown. You can literally copy and paste the link to whatever you make in Instagram and post on Instagram, and then you can post that anywhere you like and it will not download without the watermark. Okay, so it's a really good one because then you can upload onto TikTok, because TikTok doesn't like you. Instagram doesn't like you posting TikTok stuff. Like, even if you mention TikTok on Instagram, you could like get banned and stuff. So just, you have to be like a little bit aware that the apps are like massive rivals. So you be a little bit aware of that. But make it easy for yourself. InstDown will literally allow you to download. If you ignore the adverts and just X them, you can still use it for free, by the way. And you can download the video, and then you can plaster it everywhere. And then that's working smarter, not harder. Because you might find that content you make on Instagram flops and doesn't get any views or anything at all. Actually, you go and stick it on TikTok, it absolutely flies. Honestly, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It literally is like a bit of a lottery in that sense. I can't answer why that is or what works on one app than the other. So that works really, really well. Video stuff while you're out and about, and just save them into your albums, and then have a look on your For You page. So your For You page is where the little magnifying glass is, and that'll be like your home page. Laura's is weird, don't look at Laura's. But look at your For You page. It will give you an idea, one, of the type of content you're looking at. Two, it will give you an idea of like hooks to put on content. I'll talk more about hooks next week, but like ideally a hook is something that makes you stop scrolling. So like, come with me to go to work from home today. That is a hook. It's a bit of a boring hook. A more fun hook might be something like, did you know that I'm really crap at doing these like on the spot. Jackie Richards, yes. She
Hang
literally
on, let me.
really good real like hooks. But I'm trying to think of ones that I've done that have been oh, here we go. So this is one that I did this week. When your mum tells you as a teen that one day your whole outfit would be from Sainsbury's and you laugh, the next bit of text that pops up. And today, as a busy mum in her 40s, my whole outfit was from Sainsbury's. So relatable, maybe, maybe not. Clapping for yourself as a type B, busy work from home mum who managed to get my kids back to school on time after the bank holiday. That is a hook. Okay. It makes people stop and look. It makes people some hooks are better than others, but you can have a look on your For You page and you can find ones that are really good, the ones that make you click on them and go and look at them. They probably have got a good hook, whether it's visual or and there are some of you, if you've been on a weight loss journey literally and you're posting about it, you will get, I tell you, your content will fly. And if you've got young children, ask them to help you, because they literally will teach you everything you need to know. I ask my kids all the time, I'm like, can you show me this? And Ellis quite often goes, I don't really make content, mum, but I'll have a look. And he does this really fast. And I'm like, that's too fast for me.
Ella's actually got, and she'll come up saying this because I'm not going to tell you the page or anything because she don't want to share it yet. But she videos herself doing her art on TikTok, and she gets ridiculous views, like for her audience, obviously people that are in that field. But she just videos herself doing her art. She's doing her art. She's got the videos up like that. People are interested and people want to see because that is what they are interested in. Somebody just wrote, your vibe attracts your tribe. 100%. Like, I know that's a really old, like, cliche. Oh God, my light went on. I thought it's my dog. I know it's really old, like, but it is in the most simplistic form. If people are not getting to know your vibe, um, Lisa got a new Teamy this week because she told us she loved her vibe on social media, didn't she? Like she literally did because she gave her a scent circle. This person followed her on social media and she ended up joining. Just yesterday, somebody that I knew from years ago, like she's never commented on anything about Scentsy. She's never like literally we've had not really any contact for a lot of time, but she told me yesterday she commented on a picture of Harry and she reached out and she's like, I just love all the stuff you share on social media. So she's been following and she's been watching. And I said to her, like, when are you going to try? I meant to send her a sample pack. And she was like, no, I want to join. I want to be. So, but she's like been watching behind the scenes. So even if people are not liking, commenting and things, people are watching. I promise you, people are watching. But if you don't, what I'm saying is, if you don't put anything out for them to see, they haven't got anything to watch.
I will just add, a long time ago, when I first started talking about social media, I used to be like, you can only put positive things out. Actually, the world's gone a bit funny that the world likes things that are controversial. Now, I wouldn't go and put your political views necessarily or, things like that. But if you have got an opinion that's a little bit controversial, then put it out there into the world. I know Zoe's on here. I know Zoe talked about when she had a row on the side of the football pitch with um another parent. And I messaged her going, oh my God, that's like nearly been me so many times. But I know that when she talked about it on her stories, if she'd have probably put that as a reel, that probably would have blown up because the amount of people that would have either been like, oh yeah, me too. Like it doesn't always, you're like, people need to see real. They need to see your dirty washing. They, not your knickers, but you know what I mean. They need to see your dirty washing. They
Some people, that's a whole nother route to go down.
need to see the non-perfect because we are well past that. Instagram and TikTok have changed. They don't want perfection. And I think so many of us think, oh, we need to, have this perfect, life, these perfect desks, this perfect home. Absolutely not. I'm telling you now, it doesn't interest me. I stopped following perfect homes a really long time ago because it made me feel so bad about the fact that my home wasn't perfect. And I have one room in my home, actually two now, two that I would call like that are perfect, but they're never clean and tidy because I've got boys and they don't ever pick up after themselves ever. Um, and that for me is that's a turn on. I want to go and look at other people that are type B, crazy, messy people like me. But there are some of you that'll be like, well, I only look at perfect homes, and I think I've got quite a perfect home. And if that's you,
And
that's
that totally like share your meat. So do you know what I talked about in my stories last night? And I got loads of like comments in it in my stories. I sent Finley to school yesterday. So what again? People might think, oh, you've got all your stuff together. If you have like messy moments, share them. I sent Finley to school yesterday, picked him up, got to the door. His teacher called me over and he said, oh, I thought Finley had cut his trousers today and I couldn't work out where he got a pair of scissors from. I had sent my child to school with holes in his knees for some trousers that I cut for his Great Fire of London costume a couple of months ago. So he'd been in school with big holes in his trousers all day, but he hadn't noticed, and I hadn't noticed when I'd sent him in. But we laughed about it, and his teacher laughed, I laughed. That was funny. I shared that on my stories. People talked about it. It generated a conversation. That was a Me Too moment. There are other mums out there that would have been like, "Oh my God, I've done stuff like that." Honestly, I could probably make a whole flipping Instagram page of stuff that I've today all the kids are walking to school, right? I was like, Finley stood there. Like, luckily, I live on the same school street as the school. Finley stood at the door in his school uniform, and I was like, why are they all wearing red, white, and blue? It's PE day, isn't it? So I literally went, get your clothes off. Luckily, he liked Mario. He literally got changed a minute before. There you go. I took the wrong child to the trip. I took the what? I took the wrong
so.
child to the trip meeting. What do you mean?
Do other kids? Oh, Gemma, that's brilliant. No,
But
so
that's what I mean.
I said like I have to look over my glasses every day and check if it's non-uniform day because Artie seriously got PTSD where I took him to school once in school uniform and it was non-uniform day. But
Like,
well, we're
when
both well,
be a human being on the internet. Be a human. That's what we're saying. Like, look for those. Like Maya.
my argument over the bullying on the pitch. That's it.
But this is what we're saying. That is authentic. Don't make, if you've never had, like, don't make it up and say, oh, this happened if it didn't really happen, is what I'm saying. Like, people will see through that. You have got to just moments that make you smile or make you laugh or make you whatever, share that. Like, and
At work while you're doing these things and you think, oh my God, I've got to share that, but I can't do it right now. Just make a note of it in your notes app on your phone. Your notes app is going to become your best friend. It becomes a bit like just blog it, like, or talk. You can talk to your phone. You literally press the microphone. You can talk to it. It's quite interesting to watch what spellings come up. But I do that quite often, and then I know I'll come back to it and be like, because I'm going to forget. I will forget what happened in that moment. I will forget the funny punchline of what someone just said to me, or if that man was really rude to me as I was crossing the road. Like, I will forget those things. So put them in your notes phone, and then you can use them at a later date to create content with. Now, I feel like we could keep going on, but we
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
4 weeks of this, guys. I'm just going to end the recording 1 second. Hold on, I nearly ended the whole thing. Let me just, where is end recording? Where's the stop recording button? Anyone know?
At the bottom, on the